Okay, so the next thing we're going to do then is set up the general settings on the website. And really, we're going to start with general. And site title, again, this is what should have happened when we set the sites up here in Mojo Nutcase Land. But this is going to be BYOB WordPress Boot Camp. And the tagline is also actually important for search engine optimization. Many themes use it as the description of the home page or as the description of the front page. So whatever you do with your tagline, don't leave it as just another WordPress website. Definitely put something meaningful in there about your website. So in my case, I mean, it can be a slogan or whatever, but in my case it is learn the basics of using WordPress. Okay, then the WordPress address and the site address you're going to leave alone. You definitely do not want to change that later. This is not something you want to edit yourself. Dana asks, can you change this later? Yeah, you can change this as many times as you want. It doesn't really matter. You can refine it, but just don't leave it in the state that it was in as we found it. Now, the email address here, this is the admin email address. It should have really said Rick at BYOB website, because when WordPress needs to send you an email, you want it to send it to you, right? And for whatever reason, this email address didn't get populated correctly. So this is the admin email address. Wherever you want, when WordPress has a problem, an issue, has some reason why it's going to notify you, this is where you want to, this is the address you want to notify you from. Okay, under membership, anyone can register. It's almost never a good idea to click that, so don't. The new default user role is you would leave as subscriber, and then your time zone. It probably makes sense for you to choose your time zone where you are. Now, if you understand this UTC stuff, I think I'm UTC -8, but it can be a lot easier just to find it via your city or a close city. So I'm going to find it based on Los Angeles. Oh, what is it? America. I guess I'm in America. Yeah, Los Angeles. And yeah, UTC and GMT are the same thing according to Cole, and so I would be a UTC -8 for Pacific time. So you can do it that way if you want, but it's nice and easy just to pick the city. Now, in terms of date format, those you in Europe can choose the day, month, year instead of month, day, year format. And if you know something about custom formatting, then you can click on this link and you can use the custom format here. But May 1st, 2014 is good enough for me. Same thing is true with time. You can set up a custom time using the same type of formatting. Frankly, I have absolutely no idea why week starts on Monday. I don't know what benefit that is for anything. I suppose it must have to do with their little calendar widget. But so you could say week starts on Sunday or week starts on Monday, whatever you want to do. Save changes here. Your general changes are set up now. If we come over to our writing things here, you've got formatting that'll automatically convert these little emoticons into graphics, which is fine. Unless you really know what you're doing, you don't want WordPress to correct invalid nested XHTML. You don't even know what that is, so just leave that kind of stuff alone. You can pick a default post category, and you can pick a default post format if you want. And once you have a bunch of posts, this can be useful. And we'll talk about what that means here in a little bit later. But if you've got email stuff you want to set up, or if you want to set up posts via email, you can do that here. But really, almost nobody does that. So you can pretty much just ignore this stuff. We're going to talk about the reading settings in a bit of length here later, so we're just going to skip by it now. Discussion settings we're going to talk about at length also in a later segment, but discussion essentially has to do with comments. So if there's a reason why you have comments activated on your website, for example, if you have a blog, or if you provide support to people and you want to provide them support via the comments or something like that. If there's a reason why you want to have comments on your site, then you would set up settings for that here. Now, if you don't ever want anybody to comment, all you have to do is uncheck these boxes. All right, you uncheck those boxes, nobody can comment. You may also want to check comment must be manually improved just in case something slips by it. You could also require users to be registered and logged in order to comment. That's another way to prevent comments. But there's a bunch of comment settings here, and we'll talk about comment settings when we start talking about how to use WordPress like a blog. If you're not using WordPress like a blog, this whole comment thing is useless. And at the moment, I've deactivated comments on the site because most small business owners are going to do that. Save the changes. There are media settings here as well, and we're going to come back and talk about media settings when we really get to that point. And then there are permalinks, and also we're going to talk about permalinks not this very moment, but when we start talking about how to optimize WordPress for search engine optimization. So we'll come back to that in a moment also, but those are your settings. General, reading. General, you definitely want to get set up first, and discussion can be something that you want to deactivate fairly quickly. Now that I've deactivated it, I'm not going to get any more of these spam comments. Look at that, holy smokes, I got 2 spam comments, 3 spam comments in no time whatsoever. It's hilarious. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and hit spam and spam. I should have just left those when we talk about comment moderation. Okay, anyway, we'll just leave that alone for a moment. And Nicole says that's because Akismet is not activated. That's correct. Akismet does block that. However, Akismet activation requires a number of things before it actually works properly. I use Akismet on BYOB website because I literally get thousands of spam comments a day. Akismet. Yeah, it's essentially the scourge of the industry. And so since you joined us, Akismet has saved me 118 days of time to dispose of this. I actually have a free Akismet account, and it's suggesting that, which they don't have anymore, it's suggesting that I make a contribution, which I think I will, because Akismet is invaluable. It has 248,632 spam comments blocked in the last 6 months. It's caught 99.78% of all of them. And anyway, it's an invaluable tool. And it's very inexpensive to sit on just one site. It can be expensive if you have a whole bunch of them, but it's well worth it. Okay, so that's the settings.